Welcome to Bones Pet Boutique Podcast. You can check our podcast at www.bonespetboutique.com/podcast.
Hi. Today we want to answer to this question: is raw pet food a veterinarian faux pas? This is a delicate subject, but one must be addressed. Why are there so many veterinarians opposing raw feeding? I'll admit that I'm a little scared and perplexed when I hear some of the professional opinions on the dangers of raw pet food. People frequently tell me that their veterinarians have tried to persuade them to avoid eating raw meat for a variety of reasons. Bacterial pathogens, such as Salmonella and E. coli, pose a risk. There is little scientific evidence that eating raw foods is helpful. Nutritional deficiency is a possibility because the diet isn't balanced and comprehensive. What are the origins of these theories? Are they correct, too? We'll have to dig a little deeper to figure out where the objections to raw food come from. Everyone, including pet parents, animal care professionals, and veterinarians, would benefit from examining the following statements objectively and with an open mind. In extreme cases, each one could be accurate, and therefore we need to dissect each one to get the complete picture. And that's precisely what I intend to do here. Digging deep into raw pet food. Raw pet food is perfectly safe if prepared correctly and with care. Scientific evidence shows that it helps people live longer and healthier lives. Much of what vets communicate with us, in my experience, and I'm sure I'm not alone, they learn in school. We must examine what veterinarians learn in school because it is essential. I don't doubt their good intentions, their desire to help animals, or the hard work that veterinarians put in. I'm skeptical of the logic and goal of nutritional instruction in veterinary schools. Let's compare and contrast the human food/health world with the pet food/health world to observe how the schools of thought differ. 1. The human world's healthy eating concept. Freshness and diversity are essential factors in a healthy diet, although there are often no mathematical equations involved. Doctors refer patients to nutritionists for aid with personalized meals, to help lower the risk of significant health conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, obesity, and cancer. Leading health professionals recommend avoiding processed and packaged meals. Veterinarians are the only medical professionals who advocate for highly processed bagged feed over fresh food diets, claiming that it promotes health and lifespan. The American Animal Hospital Association and the Canadian and American Veterinary Medical Associations are among them. The correct diet is defined by whether it fulfills the nutrition criteria of the American Association of Feed Control Officials, independent of freshness or ingredient quality, and was created for processed animal feed, not fresh food. Period. Even board-certified veterinary nutritionists follow these guidelines, yet scientific formulation does not always correspond to a healthful diet. For the pet food industry, I always use the Frankenstein analogy. We can't disassemble food and be so egotistical as to believe we know exactly how everything will go back together. We only have a fraction of the scientific data we'll need to complete this task. Science is a method. Actual science has no limit to its discoveries, and believe me when I say that we haven't even scratched the surface regarding human and animal nutrition. We may know a lot, but that doesn't mean we can't continue studying and exploring. Obesity has climbed by 169% in dogs and 158% in cats in the last 10 years. 2. Food safety regulations. The E. coli outbreak on romaine lettuce is creating waves in the human world. Doctors, on the other hand, do not start instructing us to avoid lettuce. Because the health advantages outweigh the risks, and people are intelligent enough to adjust and make appropriate decisions, this is the case. Animals and people, in theory, are in danger of falling ill as a result of harmful bacteria contamination in raw pet food. Dog and cat digestive systems, on the other hand, are physically and physiologically designed to handle far more bacteria than humans. To keep you and your family safe, it matters how fresh foods are handled and prepared, just like it does in the human world. And this isn't limited to raw pet food. Pathogenic bacteria can be found in any pet food, including dry food. Only 0.2% of all applicants polled suspected pathogenic contamination due to their dog's raw food diet, according to recent research of over 16,000 raw feeding canine homes. 3. Environmental sterility and human health. It is now widely understood that the sterility of our food and living environments is harmful to human health and damages our microbiome. Fresh, organically grown, plant-based foods now have unique soil-based microbiomes that promote human health when consumed. Meat raised in a healthy setting, for example, in a biodiverse habitat/grass-fed, versus meat raised in feedlots with sterile ground and antibiotics has radically distinct microbiomes. Pet World, animal care specialists continue to believe that processed pet food is sterile. All North American veterinary societies promote the avoidance of raw foods as an essential aspect of animal welfare activities. The issue is that processed food isn't sterile in the first place. Pathogens, for example Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli, can proliferate freely on pet feed with nothing to hold them in check at the end stage, since the good bacteria are destroyed along with the bad bacteria during the extrusion process. Recalls due to bacterial contamination isn't limited to raw food diets. Check out the FDA's veterinary recalls database to discover how many processed foods have been identified for this reason. The microbial community in the stomach is influenced by animal feed, which promotes an unhealthy microbial community. 4. Diseases caused by food. The NOVA system was developed by the Faux, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, in 2009 to detect and classify the level of processing associated with foods available for human consumption. Developing this system was to track the prevalence of non-communicable diseases, NCDs, such as chronic disease, connected to nutrition. In comparison to unprocessed foods, ultra-processed diets contain more NCD-promoting nutrients, such as sugar and sodium, and less NCD-protective nutrients, according to the 2019 research. The FDA, the American Veterinary Medical Association, AVMA, the Canadian Veterinary Medical Association, CVMA, and the American Animal Hospital Association, AAHA, are among the leading official animal health organizations that maintain that raw pet food is dangerous to animals and discourage its use for the sake of animal welfare. We're getting evidence that processed diets aren't as shiny and safe as they appear from some of the same authorities, including the FDA's veterinary recall database. Pets are being killed by processed food. What are the most lethal ingredients? Moldy grain products and synthetic vitamin/mineral premixes, according to the FDA recall database. Grain that has been molded. Recalls for processed foods containing the toxic aflatoxin, and in 2021, 70 dogs died due to aflatoxin poisoning, according to reports. Toxicity of vitamins and minerals. Toxic quantities of fat-soluble vitamins and minerals from misjudged premixes given to balance the diet are another common cause of pet feed recalls. The FDA recalled numerous pet foods in 2018 due to vitamin D levels that were 70 times higher than recommended. Kidney failure and death can result from vitamin D intoxication. This isn't a joke, and the frequency with which this occurs is unacceptable. Other pet food recalls have been issued due to dangerous amounts of lead, copper, chlorine, and other contaminants. Melamine, preservatives, herbicides, pesticides, and other potentially harmful substances could be included in your pet's food. The truth is that you have no idea what's inside the bag. Regrettably, what's written on the bag may not be what's inside. to learn more, go here. It's not only a fad to eat for your species, and it's a scientific fact. Failure to detect the naturally existing foods that best suit a species puts the species at danger of developing nutritionally induced disorders. We can't compete with nature. 5. Education's influence on the human world. It is well acknowledged that nutrition education receives insufficient attention and priority in the human medical education system. Pet world, veterinary medical schools still give whole food nutrition little or no faith. Co-formulation and feed theory are the foundations of all animal nutrition teaching. This involves the training of board-certified veterinary nutritionists, who are considered experts in their field and the ultimate animal nutritionists. And here's where it gets a bit thorny: the largest veterinary pet feed company owns the most veterinarian hospitals, over 2,000, in the United States. The same firm also owns the Royal Canin veterinary pet food line. They're one of the top 5 multi-billion-dollar pet food companies, and they're also the most commonly prescribed prescription feed offered at veterinarian clinics across North America. I don't think I need to go into detail here, and I believe you can put the pieces together on your own. Again, a far more significant systemic issue in the animal care sector has nothing to do with veterinarians. Vets aren't always the best choice when it comes to nutrition. Yes, I said it. I have a different experience with fresh food diets than what veterinarians study in school. As a professional in the animal health field for over 20 years, a dog breeder, and a pet parent to innumerable dogs and cats, I've spent countless hours researching the hazards and benefits of raw, home-cooked, and processed foods for animals, and I've asked veterinarians a lot of questions about it. I have a different experience with fresh food diets than what veterinarians study in school. As a professional in the animal health field for over 20 years, a dog breeder, and a pet parent to innumerable dogs and cats, I've spent countless hours researching the hazards and benefits of raw, home-cooked, and processed foods for animals. I've questioned veterinarians on numerous occasions about where they receive their dietary advice. Many of them openly acknowledge having a poor understanding of nutrition. Those who are humble enough to recognize this have my highest regard. These are the veterinarians with whom I collaborate and to whom I refer my clients. My question to the veterinary organizations is this: where does animal welfare fit into the pet food image I've just painted? It is up to you to decide what is best for your pet. Every day, I meet with pet parents, and my primary purpose is to empower them to be the healers of their animals. I cannot emphasize enough that you, and no one else, are their guardian. When medical aid is required, your veterinarian is there to assist you, but you are the one who knows your pet best. There's no one else. It's up to you to decide what's right. I encourage all pet parents to conduct their research rather than take my or anybody else's word for it when caring for their animals. We're here to assist you in your search for answers, but it's up to you to take control. It's okay if the raw pet food isn't suitable for you and your pet. It's your pet, your decision, and your adventure. I hope that this paper will pique the interest of both veterinarians and pet owners. I hope it's a fire that inspires love and curiosity rather than fear and wrath.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. You can visit our website at www.bonespetboutique.com.